Alright, welcome back to another session of Football Manager, I guess. We're a bit late. Like, I'm 6 minutes late. Behind schedule, so I guess that counts as being on point. And today, we will try to get through the second half of the season. Well, probably not that many games, but we can go as far as we get, right? So, I barely remember what I did 2 days ago, to be perfectly honest. We had some success with Toby Yates and Adam Jones, especially Adam Jones, playing as a poacher. But given that we are mid-table right now, there is not a chance that we go down this season. Well, it's a very remote chance. So I don't think this is likely, despite some tactical tinkering. On the other hand, I wanted to change some things for next season, and we might as well use this season as some sort of practice. That is if we stay with this club, we'll see. But we brought in some nice players, I think, recently. So hopefully we will find a way. Tolker apparently is on 11 yellow cards. They were not with us though. He got his first with us though. Well, okay. So last time out we had a draw. And Alex Holt scored his first goal. I think it was the first time that Adam Jones didn't score in his new position as a shadow striker. Hi Hein, welcome back to the stream. How are you doing? Well, apparently, so this is Mercy Wing 1 and Mercy Wing 2, so apparently he's in a merciful mood. Well, Haney, in that case, feel free to stick around and have some mercy with the players. Because performances might not be that great going forward. We'll see. With all the tactical tinkering, you know. Next game will be against Port Talbot. So first thing I want to know is, did the scouts finally... Yeah. They kept the instructions to do next opposition for some reason this time out. At one point I want to understand how this works. So that means we can put the other two on... Well, any assignment really. What's their names? Sola and Jones. Sure, it's Jones. Given that there are, they do not seem to be able to find lone players, because you know, we are all non-contract players, and apparently loan includes non-contracts. We might as well use one scout for all of this. And I think we want top ranked players only. Maybe something like this, right? Because we need players for the first team and not youth players anymore. I don't care about the age, I don't care about the area, I do care about the scout though. So, let's give this to Jones. And the analyst... Yeah, not care much. Maybe, I guess Alex Phillips can do it. Great. For some reason we cannot edit this focus anymore. Yeah. Okay. So, what else can we do? Well, there's a 14-day break apparently, so I probably could have done the processing for that. K Clay after one match is wanted by Holyhead. Yeah, his contract runs out, okay. So then I guess the obvious question is, do we want to sign him on a permanent basis, given that he made a whole whopping appearance for us? I don't know. He certainly isn't a great personality, but his goalkeeping attributes I think are more or less fine for this level, with the exception of the positioning and anticipation, so maybe not a good idea long term. Oh, same can be said about Coleman though. But Coleman's under contract with the other Hawk Dogs, anyway. And well, Massaro, he did have his time on the pitch this season. There's no improvement to be had here. Not a significant one anyway. If I look at this is fine more or less, but yeah. Also, I don't like his personality very much. Sure, it's balanced and media friendly. Box standard. This probably tells us that we need a new goalkeeper for the new season. We might terminate his loan. Coleman's though we cannot. So yeah, next season we need a new goalkeeper, not this one. And if I look at players right now, viable goalkeeper options, there's probably some. But it's probably better to look at these once we need them, not right now. Yeah. Well, obviously we could try to look at these now, but I think let's finish the season first. We've got enough time in preseason next time out, and within half a year, so much can change. Apparently, Nathaniel Davies does not come to be a playmaker for us. He will be with whatever this is pronounced like. Fine. We'll keep him on the shortlist though, will we? Let him have some games there. So, we have Mickey Lewis in the squad now. That might take some time too. Because he needs to learn how to do a defensive midfielder. In particular, the deep line playmaker role as a defensive midfielder. He's no good at it from a mental perspective. The rest of it, though, is fine. And he brings along some really nice other mental attributes. At least from what I remember, one has had the ability to, not the ability, the possibility to see that last time out. So from that perspective, it was good. Yeah, and it's maybe a good transfer. We'll see. All right. So there's a few games. Might as well scout a one against Port Talbot, will we? Because this is the next opponent. Where are they, by the way? 11th. Yeah. So we need additional 6 points to be non-relegated in entirely certain terms. And I think we were trying to go with inverted wingers going forward, right? Yeah. At least in the attacking formation. And the same here. Sure, we've got Toker now. Mohammed Toker. Who, for some reason, is... So, his full name is Mohammed Toker. I guess Mohammed is the first name, and Toker is the last name. But for some reason, his name still is Mohammed Toker, and not only Toker. I don't know how Turkish names work. Yeah, I'm fine with this. For Talbot 1, well, that's surprising actually. But who cares? Cardiff Drags lost, fine with me. 11 and Blues lost. So, yeah, but this is mid-table. Seven Sisters lost 2-6 against Ammanford. Man. I guess Seven Sisters are not a relegation candidate anymore. And Ton Penter lost. 3-0. Man. Still sitting at 4 points. At this point, I'm really, like... I think taking their club and doing anything with them probably a really interesting point right now to dive into that save and try to save them from sure relegation. Thank you very much, sir, and welcome back to the stream. This is what channel points are spent for. Hydration. So, we had a look at Francis. I still don't think he's a viable option. I do not like this very much. Me personally, I'm fine. Workday was, how do I put this? I found a lot of stuff to do by myself. So, I had the ability to, do it in my own terms and my own pace. So that's usually a good thing. It wasn't that stressful or anything, you know. On the other hand, that's kind of needed for my job, to take a step back from time to time and reflect on things. So I guess it's part of the circumstances. Yeah, I don't want Francis. How are you? This is like, sorry, should be common decency to ask, right? And I always, I'm always in this kind of situation. I always tend to jump between, well, okay, let's talk about the stream, and then I remember, well, there's a person on the other side. Maybe I should ask. So, how are you? Let us know. And tell us about your week so far. Is there a free day for every one of you tomorrow too? Because, well, if my management allows it, I might do 12 hours of streaming tomorrow. Probably not. In Francis' case, I do not like the lack of passing, and, well, his pace is really good, but the composure is free. I don't like that very much. Matthew Harris. That's an interesting center back with similar weaknesses. Same here, I'm not a big fan of the personality. That said, he's got a really nice trait. So I like that one very much. He's more interesting to me. Due to being fairly pro, also 20-year-old on a non-contract, there's another reason not to sign him. Also, he's Greek, is he? He's entirely okay. I guess he's entirely English, but then this is not an English name, is it? Not that I care much. His English his English nationality is a good thing for us. Because he counts as a domestic player. Well, also he's under 21. So, didn't we bring somebody in? Yeah, Doherty. That's the 17-year-old plus a 20-year-old. And we could get rid of McDowell. Well, in case your soul is cleansed afterwards, maybe there's a use for it. Oh, this is probably not a gesture that... whatever. Too late. On stream now. Yeah, and please don't tell us anything that might enable us to identify you in the future, you know? Don't let your current employer know that you think your job is lame and boring. But I wish you the best of luck on the job hunt. So, what do you think about Kypriadis? Let's compare him to McDowell, will we? That's not the sort of fame you're looking for, I think. So on that aspect, that's actually a very interesting statement. I watched some stuff on YouTube not today, I think yesterday, about the unhealthy relationship between, well, I guess internet personalities and their audience. And especially the unhealthy relationship, given that they usually sell a product or something like this. So this is in particular, this is very dangerous in financial advice, for example, because there's a relationship where you know a lot about me, but I don't know a lot about you, and this is perceived as some sort of friendship. So I feel kind of similar in a way because you've been with the stream for a long time, but at the same time I cannot have the same impression with you, because I don't know your face, I don't know anything in particular about you. So it's kind of it's not bipolar on the same level. That kind of social relationship, and that can be dangerous. That's probably not a popular thing to bring up as a streamer, but I guess I wanted to reflect on that live on stream. So, considering some person on the internet a friend, I think is a dangerous thing to do, from that perspective. Even though I don't intend any, any harmful stuff. But I hope I get the chest. It's still a nice way to put it. So I guess thank you very much. Yeah. I don't know where I was going with this. I guess I wanted to reflect on it. So let's get back to the comparison if we can, will we? Do you have an opinion on this? Do we want to play with much slower fullbacks? Because McDowell is able to compensate for a lot of his deficits with his speed. On the other hand, he's 31. Did he? He had 15 appearances on a 6.61 rating for Cardiff Drags. Fullback on defend duty is definitely possible for him. so this is why you are here. You're trying to give me advice on growing a beard. To be fair, I don't think I will grow a decent beard in this life anymore. This is maximum, absolute max. I will, if I grow this out, it will be some sort of thin, thin thing below the it's all fine. It's all fine. This stuff happens to me all the time. Remember, I do this on stream all day. Googling English words. This is part of your learning experience. Well, about the player though, he doesn't have a big brown beard. So, do we want to sign him anyway? It's definitely a good one. I appreciate it. Alright. I think given the age we can sign him, right? Let's cut this short. Sure, there's some obvious weaknesses. And also, we wouldn't want him to have him as a star player. Wait, he says. Well, I wanted your opinion, so here's... Sure. Here's an attribute comparison to McDowell. Or, if you want to have it more in a more shorter manner, McDowell is really speedy, but he's 31, and he's really shitty with everything else. And this guy is rather decent with everything else, but he lacks the pace for a fullback. Yeah. Here you go. I hope your deep analysis contains the fact that he's a fairly professional player, that is a consistent performer who has a decent amount of pressure, considering what we know of him. And is there anything else? Yeah, I think that's it. So, we don't know the exact personality, obviously, but there's a few hints in a rather positive direction. And his positioning, obviously, is way better than McDowell's. So, the hope is that he doesn't need to run like McDowell does. There's also a second guy that will come in, whatever happens, and we do not have to fire McDowell. But I think, given that Cardiff Draconians probably go down, this might be a good one to keep him on the shortlist or to try to sign him immediately. We're talking a 20-year-old after all. So I hope your deep analysis, is it finished? You say pass, because he's awful. Well, what's he then? Alright. So I will still keep him on the shortlist then. Oh, well, we aren't contracting it. Let me put it that way. It's a non-contract after all, right? So you say pass? He wants to be star player. Forget about it. It's a pass. But I will shortlist him because I feel like this is an option. Yeah, true. I don't want to sign the 30. Yeah, but then again, he's well. This is the standard of play that we have in this league. With him, he's 33, and I don't like the fact that well, his passing is 6 at least, but he's a bit slow. I don't think he offers much improvement over what we have, really. Especially as I'm looking for leaders, and he's a balanced personality. I don't like that. Harry Cup is resolute. This is not bad. It's probably why he's on the scouting list at all. He has a really horrible passing though. Hmm. That's not bad for an inverted winger. We're talking an 18-year-old. The alternative right now out there is Tumulty, so this is a more technical approach. I guess more. I think actually his mentals are fine. For an 18-year-old, he has great mentals. He's resolute and level-headed, as I just said. Do we know anything else? Not a consistent performer. What's his? He played 19 games. Let's see. He considers himself a star player too. So let's say we make him a squad player. He would be happy with that. And that's acceptable. Yeah. But there's also finishing one. But if we go about it that way, we will never find players in this league. As I said, we're talking an 18-year-old. And we gotta realize that on this position, well, we do not have a primary player there. I guess we have somebody, sure. But the somebody that we have is a really horrible personality and is not better stat-wise. So I don't think we should do that. I think so, yeah. By natural progression he will. But we're talking short term here, sure. I still think he's better though than what we have. Well, the problem is 7 is average for this league, isn't it? 7, 8, or 9 is a decent stat for this league. So if we're looking at this, we just sign star players. But let me compare him to whatever his name is. If I can find him. Trainer, Kevin Trainer. Are there other questions? So Kevin Trainer is the current best prospect we have out there on the left wing. Kevin Trainer apparently is a bit faster. That's it. So I really think that Terry Copp is probably the better choice. Kevin Trainer's or Terry Copp's. Kevin Trainer's personality is rubbish. He's temperamental, volatile, media-friendly, and confrontational. Basically the bad boy of the squad. Copp's personality is resolute. Resolute implies great professionalism and decent determination. Well, okay, decent professionalism and decent determination. But he's also level-headed, so this implies a certain sense of loyalty, if I'm not mistaken. So that's 3 out of 7 that are rather decent. I know. That's a classic at this point. Welcome back to a stream, Chair Nallet. Well, I'm not sure if it was a feminist that said this, but given the amount of stress that the organ you are referring to can endure during birth, it's kind of an ironic thing that most males tend to refer to people that cannot endure physical pain as a pussy. Because, you know, it's kind of the wrong thing. But I get your chest. That said, I think we should use him on the wing, and we do not have anyone out there that I see for mentoring. Yeah, but he's 18 years old, right? So for mentoring purposes, he will not serve much either. All right, I'll still sign him. If only for what did we offer him? He might as well go to the youth team if we don't play him. But I suspect we will play him. And he was on the shortlist anyway, apparently. This might have been also, so there's a new scouting instruction, and I told him that I want 3.5-star players or above. This might have been one of them. I think there was only 4 reports of known players right now. So, this is probably the top level that we can get, even if it hurts. Okay, yeah, there's other clubs interested in him. Yeah, well, that's not a better club, but it's on a similar level. So we will probably not get him anyway. Sure. And we've got another transfer coming in at some point. That's too hurdy. But I'm kind of relieved. That's very, how do I put this? Very diplomatic of you. I like that. I do agree with your points though. The low strength, low concentration, low bravery. So we know that at this point. Yeah, it's just weaknesses to the player that we gotta accept. And also, he was lacking pace. He had acceleration and pace 9 and 9, I think. So it wasn't that great. On the other hand, he was good enough mentally to anticipate some movements. And it doesn't need to be that explosive. It doesn't need to be like... the name evades me. Tumulty. Tumulty is really fast. He has good acceleration and I think pace 10 at least. So, seen from that perspective, Tumulty has really good physicals, but the mentals are so far off that there's nothing to be gained there. Once Tumulty realizes that he needs to run for the ball, he needs to, cover an additional 10 meters in comparison to the fullback. He's capable to do that from time to time, but probably would be better if he had better mentals. This is where I find out that Tumulty's anticipation is, I don't know, 10, and I just don't know. So, Joe Nallard, how have you been? Did you do any additional mowing the recent days? That's the only thing I know so far. Mowing the lawn. So I hope I'm excused for bringing that up. I think his mentals, if I'm not mistaken. I will have a look. Because, I don't want to put him on pace training. Cool. So let's see. Yeah, his mentals. He's on decisions and composure right now. Because we are doing some concept work for next season. So, considering next season he would need to play as an inverted winger, we're trying to shape him into that. We're just trying to get him used to the position. I realize that, this is not a thing that will pay off this season. But this season is lost anyway. Well, that's not... Well, in that case, I need to accelerate my stream. Or you need to make a decision. Or watch the VOD later on. Ah. Yeah, well, there's also the time shift of time zone, right? Well, I'm sorry that I don't live anywhere else on this planet, but I just got off work. So, for me, this is a nice opportunity to at least do a 3-hour or 4-hour stream. Well, hopefully it is. We'll see. Private social life is important too, and but I think my girlfriend will work late today. I will probably not be able to comment on your match though. But that's very nice. And in case I forget to mention it, Sharon Allard, I hope you have a decent work day and don't have, it's not, I hope it's not that stressful. There's various degrees of stress at work. So hopefully you can have a nice day. I can probably go to the squad planner at this point. Because this is not true anymore. That is probably not... Well, it will be like this on YouTube anyway. But in case... well, I am not monetized on YouTube, so who cares? But in case I ever get monetized and this video gets demonetized, you will be to blame. So I will probably look for you after then. What? Seriously. Knock it off, guys. Let's talk about footballers. I will not play holdout here. With the others, yeah, maybe. And here, I wanted to include the other guy in case he comes in. Because we've got Ishak there. Well, I forgot Ishak. But Ishak is a winger, so we would retrain him to the other wing right now. Uh, this is all just wrong, really. At this point, we're trying to do inverted winger, so this doesn't happen anymore. Jacques belongs here. If I can find him. There he is. Me? Well, my current shirt says, I don't know if this is readable, probably readable if I go to the intermission screen, right? My current shirt says chaotic stupid is not on alignment, so that's as close as it gets. It also clearly states that I'm a nerd. So I got that going for me, which is nice. Out there we have Mr. Cake Grenade as an inverted winger if we want to do that. Toko will not play there. Tumulty might play there as an inverted winger. I probably forgot somebody. Rooney. Sure, Rooney. So all of these, well, these are regular wingers, and we're trying to get them to play inverted winger. That's it. For some reason, Rooney is rated a little bit. Yeah, he has some skill out there. Sure. Well, that will be interesting. My FMK trait is seriously. Yeah, well, I will start each and every episode. Seriously, guys, nobody here yet. Something like this. In fact, that's one thing that one needs to come up on. Well, I guess for streaming as well as YouTube. You know, there's not a single catchphrase or greeting, I guess, that I used up until now. I have no idea how to do this. I rarely go with anything else than just a random welcome back to the stream. If I can help it, it is seriously. I have no idea. So obviously, I do not have the time to watch my own VODs. This would be needed from time to time, though. But I definitely can't do that. This is far too time consuming. I will not do that if I can help it. But well, I can. What I can do. This is so narcissistic, though. Or narcissist? I'm not sure what the English word is. So yeah. What I can do though is I can do two faces, like a seriously face and if I can help it face, and then I will use both of them. I will find out how Photoshop works because I have no idea about this kind of stuff, but I know somebody, and we will Photoshop some sort of white border around it, and then we will introduce it as custom stickers so that you guys can slap it on the screen. You know, a seriously sticker as well as if I can help it sticker. I guess that's a possibility. I could do that if there's any interest, because there's like how many stickers are there? I don't know. At this point in time, because nobody used one of them, there's 12 custom stickers there I can do. So, but I don't know. I don't want to self-propagate that much. Is it propagate? I'm not sure. This stream is not about me, it's about the club. Is it? Am I the product? Are you the product? What's the product here? I'm not so sure. Please tell me that I'm not a product. So, I will probably save that idea for later. And make it a possibility, if I can help it. It's kind of funny that somebody develops these catchphrases, because none of these two are related to, I don't know, TV series or some sort of web series or something. Thank you very much, by the way, for stating that I'm the product. Hooray. But I get it. To a degree I am. Sure. Because the game might change, or I don't know, the kind of content in general might change, and I'm still part of it, so to a degree I'm the product. I should probably do social media and stuff. I don't want to. There's a Discord server. That should be enough. Well, but that stuff with the stickers, I think that's a possibility. Maybe we can come up with other interesting ideas from time to time. And same with the greeting, really. So if anyone's got any great ideas, I will probably use that. Mad Games Tycoon 2. What the hell is this? Nine out of 10 on Steam. Anchorman? No, I don't think so. And I'm a horrible person. I know. I think I know memes from Anchorman, if I'm not mistaken. Well, in that case, I probably need this game. Let me see. There's no sound here. Stream usually starts the video immediately, but there's no sound apparently. This is this is an early access, man. I cannot play this. Also, it's 21 bucks. And I'm not a popular streamer, so it's not like I can crawl up their backside and ask for a free copy. Yeah. That said, I would be very willing to, buy the game, but on early access titles, I don't think so. And I don't want to spend, okay, he will not come in anyway. I don't want to spend $21 on, or is it euros? It's euros. Whatever. I don't want to spend that on a game that I might or might not like. So, or might not do long term on the stream, if that makes sense. Okay. I at least I got the chest now, but yeah, sure, explosive birthday cake. But that probably means that I still need to contact them and so on. And I'm not so sure if this is a good idea. Yeah, let's get rid of him. I don't want him. Sure, he was on the shortlist, right? I remember. Yeah. That's the one that I wanted to retrain for the right wing, because really, just the personality. He's a model citizen. I want to pick him up. Yeah, and he wants to be the regular starter. That will be a hard thing to do. Apparently he will be regular starter. Apparently we will not employ him, given the amount of money he... Yeah, forget about that. Okay, so he needs to remain on a short list. Maybe they let him leave or something. I will try to find a possibility to watch Anchorman at some point. I think this is something that I should have done a long time ago. I wasn't aware of the title really. Of that, I guess it's 2 movies if I'm not mistaken, or a series or something. It's 2 movies, right? 2004 and 2017. And well, I know a lot of memes, so this is that are probably derived from that. Oh, well, these are all Welsh clubs that we could use as feeder clubs, as affiliates. But what do we want with them? They do not play a league. They are strictly for scouting knowledge, are they? Yeah, yeah, I thought so. So I will still enjoy it. Probably. This is like a gap in popular knowledge, similar to not never having watched Big Lebowski or something like this. I cannot let this stand. I need to do this at some point. I just gotta find the time, really, and probably an English copy in Germany, because that's hard to do. That's an amateur club. That's an amateur club. That's a semi-pro club, and that's a semi-pro club. They have players in here. Yeah, we were here. Sure. You've got 2 hours to go, and if you want to, well, as a gap, and if you want to eat something prior to that, you should probably do the cooking prior to that. So maybe take another hour. I don't know. Depends on how you watch this. If you watch this on the phone, you can do all kind of things along the way. Probably concentrate on these things, not on the stream. They have players in here. They have amateur players. Well, see, this is what I'm here for. Getting rid of my own audience and my own watchers. This is how I do things. So, does either of you have any ideas how this works with the affiliates? What kind of affiliate should I choose? It's been a long while since I had the option to choose an affiliate, and usually I go for the ones with the good training center, you know, and in a good league, but they do not play any league. These are not loaded as a league in Wales. They do not exist. I do not have a database for this. This is a standard database. We can probably this is part of the select menu though, is it? Yeah, we can select one. So this is just for us to sign youngsters from there, nothing else. Yeah, it's the same for all of these options wise. So this is poor and poor. This is basic. Is basic better than poor? I forgot. Poor is 0 to 3. So poor is the worst. Basic is 4 to 5. So this club definitely has the best facilities. Training facilities. Your facilities are shit all over the place. So let's go with Riska, will we? Sure. Yeah, basic, exactly. Basic, below average, adequate, average, good, great, excellent, superb, and state of the art. But 0 to 3 is poor. So, I don't know. They might be on a 4, and the rest of them are on a 3. But we don't know for sure. And also, this is a semi-pro club, so at least they... I'm not even sure if this matters. Amateur is probably same level of training. And we cannot recommend that they sign staff or something like this. There's... Wow. This is fantastic. They do not employ anyone. So, given that... we'll still go with Riska. Let's make a decision here. They might decide something else anyway. Yeah. Do you want to buy this club for $1 or $2? Do not mind the zeros. That'll not happen. Also, we are Taffs Well F.C. No oil money here. This term has gotten politically loaded recently, right? I wasn't aware, but sure. This got politically loaded. We should probably talk about Schalke 04 at some point, and Gazprom. On the other hand, I don't want to alienate everybody on this in this world. Cool. As they should be, given their circumstances. It's where they belong after all. I wouldn't be surprised if Man City buy PSG at some point, or the other way around, really. Yes, it is. Now, the real question isn't if it is crazy. The real question to me is this something that we want from football? Is this what we want from football to, or is this how we want football to be? And that's not an easy one. Because everybody's calling for, leagues that are where everybody can defeat everybody. So leagues that have teams that compete on a similar level on one half, but on the other half, the best money can be found if I think if one of the most overperforming teams plays an underdog. These games are usually sold out, or the ones with where the team's on top level. I don't know, Bayern Munich against Dortmund or something. These kinds of games, they are usually sold out, and they are usually pretty good for TV income too. Well, for the TV companies, nobody cares about, I don't know, Stuttgart against Hertha. Well, there's some drama to that because it's about relegation. But mid-table teams, nobody cares about them. Not in particular, quantitatively speaking. So if we have a team full of mid-table candidates where everybody can defeat everybody, all of a sudden the interest in football goes away, maybe. So yeah, I can see that. Or I don't know. I think I also, in a way, um, as long as I'm not a fan of the club, I actually appreciate the existence of clubs like Hamburger SV or I don't know, Manchester United to a degree, or Hertha, Hertha BSC. Um, I appreciate the existence of these clubs because that gives us an opportunity to ridicule them with their big budget and big plans and failing to do that. Yeah, but with what money? I'm not aware of the situation, but it's probably not unlike, I don't know, all the Red Bull stuff. So that's still an impressive skill, to be able to spend money the way that it actually results in success, whatever that means in football. But I'm more impressed once you do that without the money, without external sources of money. Oh no! We could lose Cloyd. Do we want to make another offer for him? He's unambitious and unflappable. Also, probably not the best player we have anymore at this point. So do we want to keep Cloyd? He's unhappy. We cannot make another offer. Sure, he's unhappy. Well, that settles the matter. Hamilton still plays his way out of danger. I guess there's nothing that we can do about this. In that case, Mr. Tumulty, he needs a long shot. Okay. We will probably not train his long shot though. And the rest of his attributes, other than the mentals, are fine. Yeah. So, but seen from that perspective, um, in international competitions like Europa League, Champions League, and so on, I'm a big fan of the of Red Bull Salzburg, because they are the underdog overall. So this is not about the way the team is set up. This is about them being the underdog. Everybody loves an underdog, and that's fine with me. I also, to a degree, I appreciated it back when RB's Leipzig were in second league, and they went through the leagues. So they really had an quite attractive style of football back then, and to a degree they do to this day with all the attacking football. But that's something that you can do if you have the money to spend it on really gifted players. I had the chocolate in my fingers for too long. I just got out of the shower. Well, mm, yeah, they try to do this all over the place. Also in New York, I think. But yeah, there's so many of these clubs. It's just part of their marketing. And to be fair, I can understand the criticism of their, I guess, general concept. You know, buying clubs and then using them for whatever they see fit and however they see fit, ignoring rules, especially league rules. Well, not ignoring them, finding ways around it. Well, it's kind of funny. So you like the marketing and what they do with the monies, but you do not like the product. Does that make sense? Yeah. Yes. This could be our goalkeeper for next season. Why not? He's 22. That's not an age for a goalkeeper, is it? Yeah, he will go to the shortlist immediately. No bad performances in training, and Ryan Gibson trained like a beast for some reason. Hmm. Yeah, there's also so we probably shouldn't go into detail with this, but I think there was some controversy due to political affiliations of what's his name, Matuschitz? I forgot. He's dead now, right? No, that's the wrong one. Yeah, that's the right one. But I think there was some controversy due to his political affiliations. So there's additional reason to be conflicted on the view of the Red Bull clubs, I think. Um, I am. I remember that there was something. I do not remember the particular the details. I really don't. So it's probably not a good idea to discuss this here. Simply because I cannot provide anything, and also political stuff on Twitch is always a bit difficult. Um, so for I guess the obvious reason is Twitch in general, but also we as a I guess as content creators as well as the audience, we don't want to give a platform to some sort of hate speech or whatever extreme wing alignments from a political perspective. Um, and obviously, this gets amplified by the fact that we interact with each other, given that we are, I don't know, some sort of multicultural community. Even though Twitch is derived from the United States. Um, so I I guess there's no reason to provide a platform to this kind of topics. On the other hand, I feel it's viable to be sensible about this kind of stuff. So if there's political incentives with oh if there's political incentives with some sort of company, even if it's a football club, um, I think that's something that one should be aware of. Not only for football clubs or companies, though, but overall, politics are an important part of life if we want it or not. It's just how it is. Yeah, and I guess as a proponent of democracy in general, um, it's just part of being a human being, or being a member of society, to be aware of political circumstances and to participate. Because democracy doesn't defend itself. I guess that's what I'm going for. So probably not a red flag behind me anytime soon. Yeah, or whatever flag. Really. Do we want to keep Harry Martin? Yeah. Well, on the other hand, capitalism is probably here to stay. Whatever political agenda, capitalism, this will not go away anytime soon, I think. Martin is still our best defensive midfielder. Kelly's not a defensive midfielder. Darren Evans could play there, sure. But I don't want to give away Martin. I want to keep Martin. So, for obvious reasons, I'm not a financial advisor and blah blah blah. I cannot give personal advice as well. I do not know how to time the market, and if anyone else tells you he knows, they're probably lying. Anyway, banking system is an interesting thing these days. So past 2008, I think it was, the regulation was introduced in the banking system. And in Europe, we kept at least parts of these regulations, if I'm not sure. And to a degree, this made our banking system more robust, if I'm not mistaken. In the United States, very different story. Because especially the regional banks, if I'm not mistaken, were deregulated or were exempt from much of what was needed by the regulations. So the perspective that they got it coming is probably not entirely wrong. But on the other hand, same here. I'm not a financial professional, so I cannot say for sure how these things work. And in case you want to know more about this kind of stuff, I guess one should listen to experts. And for me, experts in that area are people like Patrick Boyle or well, but I'm not a teacher. In fact, I scrapped that path of education. I didn't want to become a teacher. I went for it for I think 2 semesters though, maybe 3. I'm not sure. Been a long time. But there's people on the internet that can teach about or can that have some sort of information about financial stuff without selling a product. Sure. If you want to put it that way, I guess everyone is some sort of teacher for personnel, for their own personnel and their teams. So at least I hope that I can provide some insights or some contrarian feedback sometimes. To reflect on stuff is important for everybody. Yeah, but you do. As somebody who studied mathematics, you probably should have, and I'm a shitty math. I'm bad at math. Given that I'm a computer scientist by trade, I'm really bad at math. On the other hand, for somebody from math, I'm probably I don't know. And there's people always told me that I'm too concerned with practice. Once I brought up theoretical points, and if I concentrate on practice, people usually tell me that theory is important. So I guess there must be a sweet spot somewhere. I just can't seem to find it. We don't want this guy, do we? He is much too expensive. Compensation 115k, what the hell? Oh, he's on the loan list. Never mind. But he's got decent stats, yeah. But we have players in midfield now. I do not want him. He thinks he's a winger. I think he would need to be a wing back. Sure, let's bring him in on trial. But about the banking system. Well, not about the banking system in particular. So I will wrap this up, this topic though. I think there's people on the internet that can be recommended. for this kind of stuff. And for the news section, that's usually Patrick Boyle as well as Richard Coffin. So this is, well, Patrick Boyle is a YouTube channel with the same name, and Richard Coffin has the Plain Bagel. In case you're not aware of these two, they are basically must-watch. Because they provide, I think, some sort of reasonable information for these topics, which can be humorous sometimes, but it doesn't contain bullshit advice. And then there's the Rational Reminder podcast and Common Sense Investing. And this is Benjamin Felix and Cameron Passmore. And both of these do really fantastic work. They cannot have enough views. And the Rational Reminder community is fantastic. So for everything personal finance related as well as investing related, they are my go-to source. And I watched some stuff in other areas, and it's just unscientific. It's basically useless, and most of it is bad advice. And you are sold as a product. So I wouldn't wanna, do stuff with other YouTubers there or something like this. Yeah, so much for that point. Yeah, and by the way, the analogy is great. I like that very much. I will try to remember that. So, maybe I will even use that in professional circumstances going forward. Luke McDonald joins on trial. That's great. We will tell them that we don't know yet, but on the right wing, I think we do not have. Well, we do have one good option, but it really depends on the personality at this point. I want to have a club full of professionals, and it feels like in Wales that's possible. Quite different from, say, I don't know, Sweden, where everybody's balanced for some reason. Now I need to do stickers tomorrow. It's either doing a stream, if I can help it, or sitting in front of the PC and figuring out how to do stickers of my own face at that. This will hurt. Also, this is visualization stuff. I'm no good at this. I was a backend developer, so I did everything that nobody has to look at. I guess that's some extra spice and insult to injury. So, Port Talbot. Do we care about the result? Not that much. We care about, experience for players that need it. So, basically team building at this point, isn't it? We're trying to be good leaders or something. And to give them the players some time on the pitch, so they can develop in different positions. Can develop attributes for these positions if we can help it. Yeah, there it is. Now I notice it myself. It's horrible. Yeah, and hopefully they can develop into something that's useful next season. Next season we can push on and maybe go with attacking football, because I want to leave a trail of ripped nets within this league, if I can help it. Let's not overdo it though. Yeah, so we will play Port Talbot and Andy. Great. Morale overall is good. Are there players that need to go? He needs to go to the U19 because, well, he's balanced. Probably not one for the first team and not one that we need to employ. Adam Jones doesn't know how to play there. Doesn't matter, we probably play him anyway. This is an away game, so no. But on the other hand, Ryan Gibson trained really, really well, didn't he? Yeah, he did. So he definitely deserves to play. He's unambitious. Do we have a Shadow Striker group? Metzala. Shadow Striker. Who would belong in here? Well, there's not that many players left, is there? So, obviously Ryan Gibson and Adam Jones. Ryan Gibson gets forward whenever possible, this is fine. Adam Jones likes to round keeper and argues with officials. Do we want to risk it? Probably not. Tumulty. Brotherton is of no use there. Gary Byrne, no. So we would need a third Shadow Striker and or Metzala. And on top of that, even if I can provide one, there's the slight problem that, well, one of those is no good at his job, being a mentor. I do not like the fact that Adam Jones might lose his personality. Even though he can probably use some different media handling. So the volatile and confrontational and all that stuff, he needs to get rid of this. On the other hand, I want him to be a perfectionist going forward. I cannot have it both, can I? So, in case we get him down to be fairly professional, for example, and get rid of the rest of it, we might also make him lose that trait. Maybe. There's a big maybe, though. On the other hand, the other guy really needs to have some ambition, Ryan Gibson. He's absolutely unambitious and media friendly at that, and there's nothing positive about his personality other than his great training rating, which might imply really high professionalism, but we're not sure about it. We do not know for sure. Especially given that he's not level-headed, so I think level-headed in combination with unambitious usually says there's some professionalism to him. There's none here. None that we know of. So that's either somebody came home or something got knocked over right now. I will have a look. I'll be back in a minute. Alright. So, yeah, I'm back. Yeah, she got home. So I'm not alone anymore. Great. Where was I? With personalities in the squad. So going forward, I think we need to sort things here. And we need to start to think about who we want to keep and who we want to sort out. I think I said last time out that I do not want to keep players around the squad that will not play next season. So that might include Cloyd, for example. So I guess this makes it a competition. I just don't know what to say for these kinds of statements anymore. Seriously. And I'm quite glad that you have no idea what my last name is, so let's keep it that way, please. If I can help it. Did I say seriously? Oh man. This is how you develop as a social media personality. I don't want this. Please don't. Help. Yeah, sure. So, where was I? I was going to say, the Home Alone face. Uh, I don't think I can do the Home Alone. It's something like this. I'm not sure. So we are talking the Home Alone movie, right? Or movies. I would I would ask Macaulay Culkin, but reportedly he cannot remember these movies due to, I don't know, some sort of medical circumstance. I think it's memory loss. So I don't think anyone knows how to do this face these days. No, I will not. Also, this doesn't fit a seriously face. The seriously face should be something like probably. Or you gotta just catch me doing it at some point. Please don't provoke it though. It will come naturally, you know? So this guy doesn't like his training. Why is that? He thinks passing is not beneficial. Well, I guess it's not beneficial as long as he does not improve. So we will take him off this training. Yeah, but the problem is, alongside provoking that kind of face, you also provoke, demonetization and whatever. It's not that the jokes are so bad. You gotta be careful with that line for being adult entertainment all of a sudden. So even though the stream is marked as for adult audiences, there's certain things on Twitch that you cannot promote, and I don't want to cross that line too often if I can help it. Give me a summary to inbox, please. Wayne Lloyd is probably on his way out. We will not play him anymore going forward. That's it. So we get rid of Cloyd. I wanted to say, do you have any recommendations on who should be fired by the club? Who should be released because they are on a non-contract. We are under no obligation to be loyal to them. This is the company after all. Loyalty is something that is there to benefit us, not the other way around. So that's highly cynical, is it? Anyway, is there a player that needs to go? Are you serious? I think we use him as a mentor right now. So this comes up as a recommendation. Seriously, okay. Just to provoke some conflict. I'm sure Explosive Birthday Cake will not be sad at all. We will look him up now. So he improved a little bit, at his age of 30. His work rate and stamina moved up recently, I think. Otherwise, well, we will probably not retrain him to be an inverted winger anytime soon, so there's some sense to your statement. Joking or not. Cake Nation. Can we give him a shorter name that's really easy to pronounce in games though? Because Mr. Cake Grenade, whilst being funny, I don't know. Cake Rocket. No, probably not. We need to come up with something. But if it would be really easy to pronounce and to phrase in game, that would be great. That said, Mr. CG. No. I will not do this. Let's see. He's part of a mentoring group though. Yeah, here he is. So he's a that's not shorter. You know, there's nicknames for players in football. They call them, I don't know. I guess Blaszczykowski comes up in my mind. They call him something like Kuba. Or something like this. We're talking footballers after. Keikinho is nice. I like Keikinho. Or Cake Man, or something like this. That would be fun. So, but I feel Mr. Cake Grenade might remain with the club for the time being. Because there's two really horrible personalities. No. Too close. In any case, we will probably keep Mr. Cake Grenade for now, because Rooney and Trainer need him. And this is actually, I think this is something that's hard to come by. Definitely not. We will add this to the list. Most definitely not. But, so, the way I think it works in Football Manager is you want a personality that's close enough to them, but not too far off. I had a discussion about this at work recently. True story. So, for mentoring purposes, I think this emulates reality nicely. Because you want somebody that the TUT can relate to, but the tutor needs to have a positive impact. So they need to be close enough personality-wise, but not too close. You know, there needs to be a certain gap. And Rooney and Trainer are really shit. You can come over and you can probably apply to where I work, but you would be surprised. And the person does not play FM, no. This was about I do not think I can talk about this. I'd rather cut it too early than too late. So I don't think there's some sort of I'm prohibited from talking about my work. So I'd rather not do this. But it came up in some sort of context that made some sense. This is a U19 match, sure, except all the friendlies. So it doesn't have to do with football. I do not work in football, if that makes sense. No. Seriously, why not go with Keikinho? Keikinho is nice and easy. I like this. And we will not do Grenadinho. But Cake Brahimovic. Also, there's an Ibrahim Begovic in the game, and, you know, Zlatan. By the way, what does Zlatan do right now? That's something that I wanted to do for channel points. Make me look up a player. Is he still around? No. He's still unemployed as a manager. This is really fantastic. It's quite interesting though. So Zlatan in-game speaks Swedish, English, Italian, Croatian, Dutch, Spanish, Bosnian, French, well, some basic French, Norwegian, and Danish. Not too shabby. I there's the scouting report here. If it goes on like this with the jokes, at some point I will introduce a bad jokes jar, you know. Um, so this is something that I know from pen and paper role playing. If it distracts too much with all the bad jokes, you gotta put a penny into the bad jokes jar every time you do it. And we had one of those. It filled up quite nicely to finance pizza or whatever food we consumed for the pen and paper sessions. That's been a few years ago though, when we met in real life. I guess you want to fill that jar, do you? Yeah, certainly feels like it. Well, you deserve a head start given the cheering. Yeah, but I'm not a big fan of Pokemon. I never got. I don't know. Also, I don't think Nintendo is a great company. They play gegenpressing style, so we will play counter. We will play the counter. And in gegenpressing, they might just have a problem with us. What's wrong with them? Well, this is not a center back. Well, it might be, but he's weak. And he's even weaker. Because he's considered a fullback too. So I guess we can go through the middle this time out, even though it doesn't make much sense at first glance. Perfect opportunity for Holt to show his strength, which he has. So maybe let's do that. And hopefully Harry Martin can do, the transfer stuff with Goitre. Because why would he go to Goitre? Seriously. They are... Well, they might catch up with Pontypridd. Not with anyone else, though. So hopefully Martin will remain here. If he goes to Goitre, I will have a laugh. Then we need another defensive midfielder, and yeah. No, man. Ed. Yeah, I get it, but no. Let's not do it. It's more likely at this point that I will bring Puget to this club at some point. I do not think though that this will happen. Puget is too good for us. He seriously is. He's awaiting his offer from Real Madrid anytime. Or some other money-wasting club in this world. I don't know. We will find someone. So, given that Mr. K Grenade is on very important mentoring duties and doesn't expect us to be played anymore, anyone else that we should get rid of? Because I really want to reduce squad size. My problem is, I will always find a player or an argument why a player needs to be kept. And I thought we could do this as some sort of circular thing. So you recommend a player, I tell you why we need to keep him. And in case I do not come up with a good reason, we fire them. Well, not everyone. Obviously, I will need to decide. But At least we can have some sort of discussion about it. By the way, just to be a public servant, I guess. Um, explosive birthday cake. Your timer until the match starts is approximately 75 minutes. So in case you didn't find food yet, you should probably try now. There's a coaching advice. Fantastic. Wayne Cloyd needs to start his training with agility and balance. I guess that's true. Also, he has concentration free. Just putting that out there. Well, I just reminded you. So there's no excuses anymore. Yeah. Have fun doing that. See you later. Andy Rooney needs final third training? Sure. I get that. Oh, he's got a trade? This is a new thing. He's not in trade training anymore. So final third training is just fine. And the physicals, well, not the strength, but the rest of it. Acceleration, agility, and pace are really nice. They are really seriously good. Mickey Lewis should take the free kicks. Well, I guess I agree. He's a decent free kick taker, and for some well, the 15 points of technique maybe. Something shows there. I'm not sure what it is, but you can certainly see that he knows what to do. Which reminds me, so we gotta find out if this is really what we need him to do, training-wise, or if we want him to focus on the free kicks and just let the rest of it develop by itself. Mr. Toker, he's fairly pro, and what's with him? He should be added as a for corner taking. Okay, sure. Yeah, we can probably do that. So, given that we play with inverted wingers these days, corner taking should be done at some point. And we are quite sure that Toka will take all the ones from the right side, because he's left-footed. In swinging corner, near post corner, towards the best header. Alright, let's do this. You all know how I love to do these, so. Toka will definitely be around though. And Gary Byrne will... He has decent corner taking. Not like we could need to take him off. But Mickey Lewis can do these too, and both of them are in a playmaker role, so that makes some sense. Let's keep him here. Oh, he's left-footed. Oh, he's left-footed. Well, in that case, things get complicated. So Mickey Lewis probably shouldn't take corners, even though his corner taking is at least 6. There's... I do not want him to take the corners. We need somebody on the left wing that can take corners. The way it is. So that would include somebody like Trainer. They are all rubbish. I guess in case he plays, Gary Byrne can do this, and otherwise somebody can do them. I don't care. Free kicks though. Yeah, this is Lewis' job going forward. And usually he should not play together with Byrne, so that's not a competition. They are both playmaker types. Byrne will not be on the pitch if Lewis is on the pitch, or the other way around. So we will still put Lewis in front of Byrne, just to be sure. And I do not think I need to vary the instructions, because these are the same. And with the long throws, Lynn Murray should probably be added here, given that he's our primary right back right now. And Adair in front of Roberts. Feldstad will not do them, Gibson will not do them, Adair is here, Tumulty will not. Yeah, and afterwards it gets, doesn't look great personnel afterwards. So, set pieces wise, we need somebody to take the corners, especially from the left. So, a right-footed player that has decent corner taking. That's someone that we need. Preferably an inverted winger on the left wing. Yeah. Tumulty will not be the one, I guess. Is there anyone else in the squad that, well, Floyd will not play for us anytime soon, because he will no longer be with the club. Kevin Trainer has corner taking too, so probably not. Ishak belongs to the other wing, at least for me. Mr. Cake Grenade is not a good corner taker and never will be, due to the age, and that's it. There's nobody available. So preferably, we need a resolute winger on the left wing that, I don't know, or a model citizen or something, with a strong right foot. And decent corner taking. So it gets more specific every time we look at it. This is so fantastic, we'll probably not find anyone. But maybe we can finally get to a match now. Because, the stream's been going on for 1 hour and 45 minutes and no matches yet. As somebody commented on YouTube recently, bro, it took you like 8 hours to get through 1 month. So, sure. I still don't know if this is a positive or a negative to them, though. I guess it's a negative. Mad Games Tycoon 2. Is there any other games that you would recommend for me to stream? Preferably ones that are not in early access. And, I have a certain preference for stuff that is published not published, sold on good old games, if I can help it. Because I want to support non-DRM stuff. So, in case you want to come up with another game, and as long as it's on that platform, that would be fantastic. Apparently, Harry Martin is a French player now. Why? He's not considered to be good enough? He's the best we have. At least that was my last point of view. At least until Darren Evans develops to be his replacement, I guess. He might be though, pretty soon. This guy's name is McDonald. We cannot employ him. He will eat too many burgers. Or give the burgers to the rest of the squad. Even worse. Also, well, this would have been really fun. Back with Year the Hawkdal's IK. Because there we had a farm or two. So, old MacDonald had a farm, you know. But not with this club. This is not a farmer's club. Oh. Yeah, interesting, but I do not want him. I don't think so. As an inverted winger, that's not too bad though. But I do not think so. Because he's unambitious. He's a supporter of Pontypridd. No. Get out. There's a lot of bids for Terry Cobb. We will not get. He just lost professionalism, did he? He was resolute, wasn't he? I'm not dreaming this, am I? He was a resolute player. And his media handling was different too. Like an hour ago. Well, so we need to slap some professionalism into him, obviously. Or maybe we can get him to be more professional with more humane practices, however that works. So, for the game against Port Talbot, if we can make it to 3 points, I will call it, and I will argue that 32 points or whatever it is will be enough to be not relegated. Right now, I'm not so sure yet. I think it's still 10 or 12 games to go, so there's a lot of points to be taken. Mathematically speaking, we may still go down. Dylan Morgan got removed from the short list. Yeah, he's still under contract with them, right? Oh, he was with Stocksund. On loan, he had a horrible... Yeah. He wasn't great. Still not interested to play for us. No, Jaron Ollett. We are in the middle of the season. This is we were on a 14-day break. This is, well, more or less two-thirds of the season are done, more or less, and we need to get through these games. But we're in nowhere land in the table, so I consider this to be you know, we need another 6 points, and afterwards this is basically a very extended preseason. Because so how many games is this? 10. you didn't miss anything or something. We have 10 games to go, so there's enough points to be taken by them down there. Not yet. Not yet, but I brought in players that I want to play next season, and I installed a new attacking tactic. You might have been around though. Basically includes the target man and a shadow striker, and I want to go with more direct passing and more pacey football, and employ the shadow striker. And the shadow striker is just our previous poacher, Adam Jones, because I think he can do that, and I like that kind of tactic. So I guess this is a style choice. It's a game after all. And I just wanted to do an attacking formation at some point. And it felt like we can do this here. Might not go down well though. Who knows? But we're in the middle of the league right now at 29 points. Within 10 or 12 games or whatever it was, I just forgot. There's such a large gap. This is entirely impossible, whatever we do. And the gap towards down below is 15 points, so that's highly unlikely at this point. I guess there's a remainder of a chance that we go down, which we cannot. But on the other hand, even with the other tactics and other players, we should be able to get a point or two from time to time. So I think we stand a chance there. And we can use this as an extended preseason. I will still go through the games as always, though. So, yeah. In a way, this is the boring stuff, if you want to put it that way. On the other hand, given that it is not about results anymore, this is about development of players as well as, finding out a tactic that works for next season. So if that's something that's interesting to you, I guess this is the interesting stuff. Because we will have like a third of the season just to find out. And afterwards we will have a preseason. And in between there will probably be some sort of break. Yeah, I hope that that explains it, the circumstances. Yeah, and by the way, just because I obviously Explosive Birthday Cake has problems eating. Yeah, he was a bit better. He might leave the club though. There was an offer for him. Let me see. So he will not play today, if I can help it. And Cloyd, well, he's competent right now, but my problem with that is for the future formation he will not serve there. He's just not fast enough, and for an attacking formation we need somebody that's faster. I think we can agree on that. So he doesn't fit the bill anymore. As a striker, as a poacher, he's decent. So we could use him like this. But we have another poacher that's equivalent or better, which is Adam Jones. So he's basically the replacement at this point for Adam Jones. So this is why he trains Shadow Striker right now. Not that I expect him to play there anytime soon. Because then there's the personality thing. Unambitious as well as unflappable. The unflappable is good. I like that. This is highly resistant to pressure, I think. Unambitious, though, not so much. And there's, simply put, there's just a problem that we cannot give him another contract because he denies contract talks. He's on a non-contract and his skill level is good enough. So all of a sudden 5 clubs are interested in him, signing him for free. I do not want to plan with him anymore. We will keep him with the club for... In fact, I could fire him today. But whatever I do, the fans will be unhappy with it because he's a skilled player and he's young. So there might be some unrest if I fire him right now. This is why I don't do it. But I do not plan with him for the future. Why have we been so good at home? Oh, away from home. Well, I guess because we won the games, man. Is the 15 gap... the 15-day gap is probably a bad thing, because sharpness is missing. And Alex McDowell's physicals are really, really, really important for him to play at all here. Because without the physicals, he wouldn't stand a chance. The rest of his attributes aren't great. Jaron, do you have anyone else that you so in like in a serious manner? Do you have anyone else that you think needs to remain with the club? Like you want to see them next season? Yes, I agree with this. Tumulty is really fast. This is why he's with the club. Also, he's spirited, and spirited is a decent personality. In Tumulty's case, though, I'm not so sure how much professionalism there is in his spiritedness. I think spirited was 5 to 14 professionalism or something. So, yeah, closer to the middle. And just because I've got the time, you might notice that there it is. A plant's missing there. This plant has moved rooms. It's gone now. This is the 29-year-old with the good leadership, Lewis. That's why I brought him in. He will not play as a left winger though. I think he's much too slow there. So he would need to be some sort of playmaker out on the wing. Sure, that's a possibility for the odd game. The biggest problem with him I see is he fits the playmaker description, but he doesn't have the mentals. This is kind of weird to put it like this though, is it? Because no, everything's good. So first things first, his know-how about playing as a defensive midfielder improved recently. I think this went up within the last 14 days. So this might be due to training. That's a good thing. His performance in training overall for a 29-year-old is not bad, but it's not great either. We don't know about his personality, other than being a leader. And he's media friendly, so he might be middle of the road. Also, I think I do not think this is a new gen. I'm not so sure. It might be a new gen, it might not be. I don't know. That's the charm of the face pack at this point, because I cannot know for sure if this is a real face. To be fair, the real faces usually look a bit more ridiculous, so I guess this might be a new gen. The mentals, though. So, determination 18, flair 14, leadership 19, teamwork, a vision to a degree, and work rate are absolutely fantastic. The aggression, too. There's some stuff, though. Especially the stuff that's needed for being a playmaker type. And probably this, given his age. That's absurdly bad. Still, he did well last time out. And if we give him time on the pitch as a 29-year-old, he might still redistribute these attributes. Also, he has decent free kick taking. And for some reason, I guess it's the technique, his free kicks are really okay. Like, you can actually see it in-game. At least I feel. So, yeah, hopefully there's an improvement to be had there. No. We don't even have enough coaches in the U19? Now, why is that? And can't we use him? Yeah. I will give Rooney one thing. He's too young for me to consider selling him immediately. Well, or getting rid of him. And he has physical attributes that are just available with Tumulty. Also, he does not have bad traits. These traits suit him just fine. So from that perspective, Rooney is a worthwhile addition to the squad. As we said, Rooney I think is mentored by Mr. Cake Grenade right now. So we're trying to get him towards fairly determined and less volatile and so on. I think so, yeah. No, we play him 55. I could probably renegotiate that, but he doesn't play much anyway. Should he play for free? I guess so. Nah, this is the renegotiated version. But money is not the biggest concern right now. So I just thought of maybe we can offer a new contract to Sam Jones and he can be under 19 coach. Because he needs to practice his coaching. And I think that would be good for him. He's not prepared to pick up the discussion again though. Dan Shaw apparently will be sold. Luke McDonald will he will finish his trial. He's not a wingback or a fullback type for us. He doesn't know how to play on the other wing, so I don't want him. Clayton Green apparently is very... Okay. Clayton Green apparently is confident of getting a result, and Wayne Cloyd apparently is not confident of leaving the club. So I guess he will try to be a shadow striker going forward. And afterwards we will teach him to be Metzala. And if he accomplishes both of these, then we will probably be happy with him. And then he will leave us afterwards. This is all good. None of this concerns us other than Cardiff Drags. Goitre... This might have been last time out there. But we need to play the game. So this means, let's have a look at training. We didn't comment on training performances recently. In fact, we didn't comment on the players' behavior at all, which is a good thing. They might have needed a break. So at least now they can't tell us that this has been going on forever and that we're really annoying. We will probably get one of those anyway. But Mr. Cake Grenade is still on training duty to be a winger. I guess that's okay. In case we bring him on, he will not play inverted winger anytime soon. He did okay. Not great though. Yeah. Tumulty 7.75. For him, that's not that impressive. I think he did better recently. Elena has decent training ratings. That's one to go, but he's homegrown, I think. Elena, one of the homegrowns. He might be. There's Rooney. So this is always a gamble. Let's do this. I guess he agrees. Darren Evans, we cannot praise. Neither can we praise Lewis or Holt. Wilds we can though. And afterwards it gets really shaky. I don't want to praise any one of those. And Shay Kirk, as usual. Shay Kirk is also one of the homegrowns. So this is why we have him in the squad. Otherwise I would have fired him ages ago. There's a save. Now we need to look at their past performances and, well, not at the past performances in particular, but we need to comment on their performances in case morale is not perfect yet. And given this, there might be some individual talks that need to come up. In reality, perfect morale, I think, is hard to come by. In Football Manager, it's pretty much something that we need to have. I still think that this would be a fine reason to buy a Cloyd. Just because he's a average morale. On the other hand, you never know with younger players. And he is a younger player. So, I'm probably jinxing it now, but the game against Port Talbot we need to win. The game against Andy is not that important. Andy I think they mopped the floor with us last time out. The game against Port Talbot then needs to be a win or at least a draw. We could play Rooney though, if we do not want to play Tumulty. So yeah, we play them. That's an away game. Martin has he signed a new contract. Yeah, what about us? Sir, we wanted to bring you in for the first team. Didn't we offer? I think we offered for him. I might not have done that. Did I not offer money for him? I thought I did. Oh, tactical meeting. Well, in that case, we might want to skip individual talks. Stream's been going on for ages. Let's just ignore the fact that this influences the result for once and only do the opposition instructions. And maybe they can get the morale by themselves. So he's right-footed only. Let's get rid of his weaker foot, his stronger foot, if we can help it. Central defender. No, he's not a central defender. Well, he is a defender, but he's really bad at some things. And one of them is to play a patient passing game or to stand any chance in physical duels. For some reason, as a defender, this is really great. We basically want him to cross, we want him to pass. Yeah, that's good. So never mark him tightly. He should be available as a passing option. Callaghan. This is off the ball movement. It's other rubbish. Okay. James Callaghan. He's not a great passer, but not a horrible one, I feel. Dribbling 2 to 5 is too good to get into hard tackles. We might mark him tightly though. In fact, I think that's what we'll do. We'll try to mark him tightly and show him to the weaker foot. Sounds a bit counterintuitive for a central defender, but I think that's okay. In his case, his passing is shit. And we knew that from the start. He's harder to mark tightly. Not due to the off-the-ball movement, but simply due to the strength. So let's not do that. He's right-footed. I don't want to show him to the left one. I do not think that's worth the effort. And tackling for him, his dribbling is 1 to 4. So in aggregate, that's probably a 3 at best. He will not have 4 points of dribbling. For 3 points of dribbling, we can probably go in a bit harder. Callaghan might still be an option to go in harder, but well, all of their bravery is bad. I don't know. Bradley Spencer. His dribbling is better, so let's not do this. No hard tackling. His crossing is bad, his passing is okay-ish, but not that great. I think this is one that we can show to the inside, even though his right foot is okay-ish. And probably trigger the press on him. Zach Wilson. His passing's good, his off-the-ball movement isn't, neither is his strength, his bravery is fantastic though. So, Wilson looks like the one that does the passing. I do not think that triggering the press on him will serve much purpose, his composure is good. Does he have... No, he doesn't have specific traits. So let's not press him actually. I think this is the first time I use this. Let's see where this goes. Let's give him the time on the ball once he gets to has the ball. Because, you know, he will spot a nice pass anyway. So let's make sure that the other players are covered. His tackling is too good. His dribbling isn't... not his tackling. His dribbling is too good for hard tackles, I feel. I do not want to go easy with the tackles neither. So, nothing here. He's left-footed and his dribbling is horrible. So there comes the hard tackle. His strength is not good either, his bravery is okay. He has a really good passing, so mark him tightly, do not trigger the press on him. Matt Brown, crossing and passing are not great. Do not mark tightly, close him down, he's too fast to mark tightly anyway. Yeah, no, his off-the-ball movement is average, that's okay. He has decent off-the-ball movement, but he's really slow. Apparently he's a striker, with 5 points of finishing though, and 8 points of passing. So, to me this is more like a playmaker. And this is how they use him, by the way. I think it's dangerous to leave him alone. So, we will still try this despite him having good off-the-ball movement. And we will also try to close him down. The dribbling isn't that great, but we will leave it blank, I think. And showing him to the weaker foot might just prove somewhat of an edge, even though it's not much. Harry Copp is somebody that I would be willing to sign. That said, he has... The technicals don't look that impressive, with the exception of the technique itself. So I guess we can trigger the press on him, not mark him tightly, because his off-the-ball movement and the physicals are good enough to outrun the marker. And the tackling, his dribbling is 5, so no specific instruction, I think. In Lion Thomas' case, though, it's the other way around. We need to be easy with the tackles, because he has decent dribbling. He might outrun his marker too, so no tight marking. Which leaves us with pressing him immediately and showing him to the weaker foot for obvious reasons. That's it. Do we have a coverer in this formation? Yes, we do. The opposition formation is like this. I think through the middle is probably the best chance we stand. But we do cross towards target man, do we? Yes, we do. So, hopefully the target man gets some balls. Jones doesn't like to play out of position. Well, I forgot to bring on Gibson. That's my bad. I guess Jones gets some playing time as a Metsala now. We're favorites? Well, in that case. This is an away game though, so let's be easy on them. Probably not easing the pressure given the situation in the league, but just, you know, the usual encouragement. And apparently this is fine. At least for now. Alright. "127 people came along. Jones loses the ball. What a great start into this game. Throw in by McDowell towards Jones. McDowell again. That's Toker. Clearly no offside. And that's an interesting choice. You go back towards Feldstedt. Well, now it's offside, right? Yes, it is. Oh, that's encouraged him from the sideline. No reaction by Clay. Everybody else seems to be happy, or at least somewhat motivated. Holt. Nearly lost the ball. Martin. Lewis. Will Lewis... this is offside, is it? It is. I don't know what Holt does out there. I think he's specifically instructed... Well, as a target man he is. He's instructed to play within the penalty area. Lewis's free kick. Jones doesn't jump for the header, I think. Spencer. Jones. Adam Jones. Toker. This will be a shot, will it? Yes. And what a shot it was. Not a bad one. McDowell. Jones. Toker. Not a bad header. But the quality of the chances was low so far. I think they can do better. On the other hand, all of this is on the defensive formation. Feldstedt. Over the goal! So, given that this is the defensive formation and we're playing an away game, two of their players have just been yellow carded. Lewis, that's a corner. Let's have a look. Who is it that got a yellow card? Oh! Well, isn't that inconvenient? So, this is their left. We will probably focus play down the right. And maybe Muhammad Toker, in combination with Flynn Murray, can force a second yellow card. Apparently that's not how it works. Orford, James. Orford, that should be offside, is it? Yes, it is. So, this is 40 minutes into the game. It's a really boring game. So far. That's it? Yeah, no high quality of chances created. Let's fire them up a little bit. And at least warn those here. I will include a 6.7 ones and tell them that it's not good enough. Let's see where this goes. Okay. Nobody's demotivated by it. So I guess that's a plus. I will not recommend the good performance of Sam Jones. Or do something else that's really weird. McDowell, Tumulty. McDowell again. Feldstedt. Lewis. Martin. Tumulty. Tumulty's ball. Nope. Martin. Lewis. McDowell. Martin. No crosses from deep so far. That said, this long ball towards Tumulty is not a bad idea, and here's Jones. Shadow Striker appeared in the penalty area. From deep, as intended. And he's not that bad of a header. Even though he's probably a better finisher with the foot. Feldstedt, that's a bad idea. Towards Orford. Random corner. Random corner for Port Talbot. Wilson. Holt. That's well defended. Orford, McDowell, Toker. And Toker doesn't find the right wing. Yeah, well, Tumulty wasn't on the wing anymore. 50-something minutes. And again, it's well defended so far. Will James take the shot? Brown. Huge, that's not offside. That's the first shot of the game and it was a great chance for them. That's not good enough by Toker. He should do better, really. And another long shot by James. McDowell, Billstead, McDowell. Nice ball towards Holt. Is it offside? It's a corner. So, from the left wing, corner will also be taken by Toker, apparently. It's not another one. We have a free kick, not a free kick, we have a throw in here. Holt. Toker. Nah. Sam Jones, well intercepted. Nice header. Lynn Murray. Lynn Murray. He tried to go down the right. Ah, nice one. Wins back the ball. Sam Jones towards Holt. Lewis. Holt doesn't appear to. Now he's got the ball. Ah, what a nice idea. So, I think this focuses them too much down the right. And there do not appear to be chances created. I don't like this. Jones. McDowell. Belstead. With ball from deep. Oh, this is a dangerous one. Well, Adam Jones. You gotta score. Yeah, it's yet another dangerous free kick by James. I think it was the second long shot from his side. They rotated a little bit, did they? Who did they bring on, though? Wilson? Nah. They did. Let's see. Because this is 17 minutes into the game. Yeah, they brought on somebody. Chris Rollins, apparently. Oh, that's the advanced playmaker. So this one has really bad off-the-ball movement, no strength, and jumping reach is not great. So we will mark him tightly. That's for sure. He's a decent passer and so on. So triggering a press on him, probably still a good idea. Even though the tight marking is much more important. He's right-footed only. And given that dribbling, I don't want to go with specific instructions. I think we can keep it this way. And 17 minutes into the game, it doesn't look like... well, if this doesn't result in a goal, this might be a draw. Boring one at that. Martin towards Holt. The other Martin. Alright. So the rest of the team needs to play too, right? That first and foremost includes Darren Evans. And given the tiredness of the other two, I think we can replace the central defender. Gary Byrne for Lewis could be an option. It's not like Lewis did much. On the other hand, he needs, the playing time. Ryan Gibson for Jones. I think Jones had enough time on the pitch, so yeah, why not? Yeah, and same with Yates and Holt. Why not? And then I forgot Rooney. I wanted to bring Rooney along. So sorry about that. But Adair is probably an option, given that Flynn Murray doesn't have a great game. 4 substitutes. Lewis, Gibson, Lewis. Huh. There's a single player up front there. Sure. Finally they did it. Evans. Evans, nice ball towards Gibson. Gibson. He took the shot. Should have taken the pass. Come on, you can do this. Gibson made an instant impact. At least for now. Mohamed Toko with a floated cross. And there will be a corner from the other side. Toko. Mohamed Toko towards Evans and Feldstedt. That's another corner, is it? Not that bad. Maybe we can keep on the pressure. Yeah, it's true. We got the time. I guess we want 3 points out of this match, but whatever. Toker and Evans with some sort of dirty work. Lewis free kick. Another corner. By the way, they had a lot of fouls. 20 fouls is not that bad. For us, that is. Feldstedt doesn't manage to jump for the ball. Callaghan had his name taken. Toker runs down the right. Is it offside? Of course it is offside. Damn it. Do we want to risk it? At this point, probably not. We can use the point, and given how the game went down, I will probably jinx it now, but it's highly unlikely that anyone scores in this game, really. So I guess we take the point. Adair, well done. Toker. Toker. Nice dribble, loses out to Welch. Cop. Come on. Close him down. Nobody does. Wilson. Orford. Wilson again. Orford. Callaghan. Wilson. Orford. There will be a cross from deep at some point. Will there be? Orford. Callaghan. That's a long ball that should be offside. Yes, it is. Just a long ball by Feldstedt. A hopeful effort towards Yates. That's it. 0 both. That's an additional point. I'm not unhappy. This is just fine. And I think we can be relaxed about this. Just move on to the next game. Do the same next time out. If they can pull off the same against Andy, I'm not unhappy. We shut up shop. That's good. And, well, even though we went one spot down, because Blevin and Blues overtook us, this is totally fine. Goitre are at 15 points now, so still a 15-point gap. One game less. That's entirely fine with me. Alright. How significant could that be at the end of the season? That's not significant at all. So that's a hard question. The question is about Elif Feldstedt, if we want to keep him at the club. And I think there's reasonable arguments to keep him at the club. Most notably, he's a well-rounded central defender. He has some weaknesses. The positioning and the pace are two of them. Also the composure. So right now we train him his composure. And given the overall progression, he basically played the entire time, right? So he was with us and on the pitch the entire time. There is no complaints there. His composure improved a little bit. Overall, he improved a little bit as a central defender. I wouldn't want to say he developed. That's overdoing it, right? So I don't think there's that much here that warrants future employment. On the other hand, there's not much that speaks against it. His rating is 6.86. So most likely for a second season, he would be in the area 6.9 something. Hopefully that is. He also likes me for some reason. I don't know what it is. On the other hand, he's not a great personality. At least not according to the media handling and the personality that we know of. So I'm conflicted on it. It's middle of the road. And middle of the road is probably not a bad thing to have in the squad, but it's not something that I would want to keep to bring to the club. And on a more permanent basis would imply, in his case, that we pay a transfer fee for somebody on a non-contract, which I just cannot afford. So I guess what we could do, given his extended contract, is we could try to loan him in for another season. In fact, let's try that. Because for another season would be totally fine. We just register him. Yeah, sure. And we will obviously not include this. Oh, they want to give him a chance in the first team now. So we need to make a very good offer. That said, he would be regular starter with us. And Wisbech, he would be their captain. I wasn't aware. He's the only player they have, and he's with a club that doesn't play in the league. Oh, this is a bit of an absurd situation. But sure, we would bring him in. He would not cost us any wages. So we would just keep him here. As a regular starter, I guess that's, let's say, a squad player, but really he would be regular starter more or less. Given his performances this season, there's no reason not to play him. Oh, especially if it includes a sensible future fee. Uh, so we include an optional future fee. He doesn't want to move to Taffs Well though. I think this is sensible though. So let's just try this. In Harry Martin's case, I guess I'm happy that he's around. But as we noted previously, he needs to improve in some areas, and his attributes are not distributed in a manner that I consider to be viable long term. That said, he's the best we have right now. So there's that. Also, as a public announcement, in case any exploding birthday cakes are around right now, which just might be, it is 17 minutes until the start of the Champions League second leg. So, in case you want to watch that, feel free to go there. Or stick with the stream. Or do both. Did you have food, at least? You'll do both. Well, let's see. Because for obvious reasons, I prefer streaming once somebody's around. So, yeah. In case everybody else leaves for the Champions League match, for example, I guess I can also stream another time, right? And spend some time with my girlfriend. Because apparently this is very important for relationships and so on. So, yeah, I don't want to be ironic about this, it really is. But, you know, trying to be funny on the internet, I guess. Ocean Richards. Yeah, he's got a good finish. But in our setup for next season, we will probably not play him. Gareth Jones. I imagine you sitting with your big ass beard in front of, I don't know, 3 screens or something, watching different stuff and stuffing your face hole with your food. So to me, this is a kind of a cartoonish thing in the back of my head. You should probably start to visualize these things for people. And I don't know, run a business on it or something. At least it sounds funny to me. Or use it as your profile picture, really. Let's have a look at that. Well, okay, your profile picture is an explosive birthday cake. There's some sense to this. I realize. All right. Not yet. Well, you know, story of my life. I really tried to cultivate some sort of beard, and as you can see, it's barely noticeable at this point. So, despite my best efforts, I'm not the one to grow a big beard, and also, as I guess my brother would say, it's some sort of neck beard kind of stuff right now. But to grow a really big ass beard, that's not something that genetics provided me with. Your mustache. That's interesting. Interesting. Well, that's the second time in a row I think that I get some electric callboy vibes here, just from the pictures in my head. Given the regional The regional affiliation, I think I need to go with a certain Borussia Dortmund fan, though, in that case. Just out of curiosity, do you grow a mullet too? Just for fun? Mustache and mullet? That's something you consider to be stylish? Not making fun of you. I'm making fun of the picture in my head. And that's great too. Well, so whatever percentage of that picture in my head is real, I very much enjoy it. Okay, great. Yeah, I don't have that. My hair is like chaotic, Harry Potter style. We don't know about the trial yet, do we? Cheeks are getting chubby, so like this? Probably not that way. Well, for some reason, glasses are associated with intelligence, apparently, in public appearance. I'm not. Well, there's no statistical significance to this, I think. Glasses are, it's a case of bad sight. So, probably genetic deficiency. But the chubbiness in the face, my chubbiness in the face went away when the chubbiness in the rest of the body went away. In fact, it was was the first one to leave. So, in case that's something you're concerned with, it's probably a good idea to, you know, get out of your room sometimes and do some physical stuff and enjoy a healthy diet. Also, I don't know, go for a walk after food. That's really, I think in general that's good advice. I think, even though not a medical professional, not a nutritionist, blah blah. But whatever. Chubbiness in general is there's a certain why not? If it suits you, why not? I can certainly relate with that. Sure. Um, but there's a certain acceptance of unhealthy body composition in our society. And on one hand, I do not want to be too, how do I put this? Appearances are not everything, right? Appearances are not that important, and um I don't wanna be somebody that blames people for what their body composition is. On the other hand, I think this provides some people with an excuse, and this shouldn't happen. If your body composition is not that great, you might need to do something about it just for a healthy life, from a health perspective. And I feel like this cannot be overdone, really, if you're not like some sort of extreme athlete. Because at some point, obviously, sports and being active is not a good thing anymore. But most people have the couch potato problem and not the I am grinding my bones to, you know, to dust problem. So, yeah, I don't know. If we play Football Manager, we might as well get some movement in there. It's really sunny outside. Well, okay, not where Explosive Birthday Cake lives, apparently. That's where Downpour appeared the last few days, if my information is correct. So they play a slightly cautious mentality and try to control possession. I do not care much, do I? We go with a defensive shape and then we move on and see where it goes. And all of these players need to get used to tactics. So let's give them some time. Yeah, we did. But we had some rain too. we had April Fool's weather without the snow though. I don't know if there's a term for this in English. Like in German and probably in Austria too. We have this term Aprilwetter, which just says the weather in April, and it relates to weather all that's common in Germany in April, which is just weather that's all over the place. It might be stormy one day, next day there might be sun and like 20 degrees Celsius. Yeah, the next day there might be snow. And that's just how it is in April. So, deriving from that, we might argue that you do not live in the mountains. And this is a strong statement, given that you're Austrian. So I guess you're close to some sort of mountain range wherever you live, right? It was Vienna, wasn't it? I'm not sure anymore. You told me at some point, or us, that is. But yeah, yeah, it's Vienna. So Vienna's a big city. Nobody will haunt you there. Um, but it's kind of funny to think of Vienna being covered in some sort of gray. It's been a long ass time since I've been in Vienna. Maybe I should go someday, for vacation. Yeah, but the rest of Austria is probably more or less a solid rock. At least from German perspective, it is. On the other hand, half of Germany is as flat as my stomach was back when I was 12. So I guess, you know, it's not my stomach. It's the abs. Whatever. Massaro did improve. Yeah, sure, Sharon Mullet. I seriously forgot it. Um, well, in that case, you will not get your vitamin D from laying in the rain. Well, yeah. It's fine. No, seriously, Sharon, I agree with this. Um, I think this is a good idea. And I wanted to do this last time out. That said, I do not think Tumulty is horrible. I think he deserves to play from time to time, and he definitely needs to stay. So you are right, we need to determine if Rooney needs to stay. But I think I've decided on that too. I want him to stay. Where is he? There he is. Um, you have a point though, he didn't get much time on the pitch. So maybe we should rotate this. And, yeah, rotate. I think rotate is the right term. And give the other one some time on the pitch too. We do not have... There's nobody on the bench here that plays on the wing. So this is something that I need to change. And this will probably cost the head of Toby Yates on the bench. Even though he's a wonderful performer in general. But I do want to stick with Holt right now. I think he's the better option for the future, which is kind of weird given that that Yates had like 10 goals this season or 12. But I still think Holt for finally, now Explosive Birthday Cake can be annoyed, but we signed Terry Cobb. There we go. It's done. And now we can have the debate about Rooney from another perspective. Because now we have somebody that can play inverted winger out there. I will still give Rooney some time on the pitch though. So I just promised, right? We will do this. Maybe not 5 games, but we'll give him some time on the pitch. Preferably, I'd want him to have 10 games at the end of the season. Maybe not a full 90 minutes, but we'll try to give him some playing time. He's an 18-year-old, though, that needs to develop his personality as well as the attributes. Probably not McDowell, no. We could, yes. But we signed Mohamed Toko as a first team member, and I want to keep him happy. So, or regular starter he is, yeah. So one of them will need to be a substitute at some point. Where's the other guy? Yeah, I just didn't find him. And him too. He needs the playing time to be natural at some point, but that will probably come next season. I do not see a Metzala / Shadow Striker in him because his finishing is really bad. As some sort of emergency replacement, though, that would do. And if we look at it like this, as a bench option, probably, right? He's not great at it, but whatever. If he comes from the bench, that's somebody that can play it at that point, if we need it. And he's got a decent technique, his corner taking is shit, though. So we need somebody to take the corners from out there. His technique in general needs some improvement. I wouldn't want to go with technique and first touch and dribbling, though, would I? Passing isn't correct. This is hard to train. I guess we could do the all of this includes technique anyway. 18. He's 18 years old, just as Rooney. And I will gladly compare him to Rooney, by the way. And Tumulty. That sums it up pretty nicely, does it? It's not like Rooney is horrible, but Kopp is very talented. To a degree. So, if we look at the inverted winger... Where is it? Kopp brings a lot of soft skill to the... It's not a soft skill, that's not fair. But Kopp brings a lot of mentals to the table for an 18-year-old, even though his concentration is 4. This is the point where I need to Google for detailed session. Sorry. Also, the game starts right now. Explosive birthday cake. At least according to your information. In case you watch this later on, or in case you watch this right now, you need to Google a picture of detailed session. I cannot show this on stream. I didn't include the browser sources yet, but this is the perfect mustache. Not the mullet though. The mullet's missing. Yeah, but I think Terry Kopp is the better player. What, a mullet? Or he's your man? Okay. I don't know him though. Well, so I need to Google about him some additional information. But I like the fact that he has a big ass mustache. So that visualizes your type just nicely. Very well done. I'm sure the ladies will be excited. Or whatever your preference is. I don't care. So, Jaron Nallett, have you been around long enough at this point to exploit your channel points? To use them to rename a player? Is that something you're willing to, or interested in? Because Jaron Nallett is probably something that I can pronounce throughout stream. On the other hand, you seem to be used to the player names in the squad just nicely. Ethiopian caterpillar. If you say so. I guess, if that's a thing. We could try to lure additional viewers into the stream, just for renaming the squad at some point. This is so great. There's no taste at all in this football squad. Whatever's going on in real life at Taffs Well, it cannot be that horrible taste-wise. So with appearances, that is. I think they will probably feel well represented by us at this point. I want to publicly apologize for well, I guess I can include Yiddo Hogdal's AK too, just for good measure, for all the bad jokes about potato farmers and so on, just because we had no idea. So I want to publicly apologize for that, and also I want to apologize for Taffs Well FC, because well, we have no idea about the club, and I'm seriously considering that probably most of you do not have a mullet and neither a mustache. And if you do, I do not want to insult you. But, you know, in Germany, this is associated with certain kind of people, I think. I still don't want Gary Rogers. I don't care. Yeah, it's the high society. Exactly. It's the high society. So I will probably go to hell for this, but I don't care. I will do this anyway. Um, you cannot show music on stream because copyright and so on, but I can post links towards YouTube, right? So every time the discussion about mullets and mustaches comes on, I just need to think of Electric Callboy. So I guess I can post a link to the video right now. This is what I think of. And you're very welcome to watch it right now. Whatever, it just takes 3 minutes. I will continue to the stream though. If I had the choice, I would play this during break now. Really? What a coincidence. This is also slightly 80s music, probably, yeah. Slightly. So, if you joined the stream right now and click on that link, you will probably be highly confused. That or you might feel right at home. I'm not responsible. I just know this kind of stuff because I like the music. This also tells you about my taste of music. Perfect. I do not know Dr. Disrespect. But please tell me this is not the name of a future football player. Apparently this is an internet famous person. Okay. An American video gamer streamer. Okay. Well, permanent ban from Twitch. Uh-huh. Well, I don't know what happened. So I don't have an opinion on that, right? Yeah, that's all there is to it. Oh, okay. So we're talking. He was showing the restroom whilst there were people in it, or what's the matter? So this is all pure speculation, by the way. I don't know. Okay, yeah. So I kind of get that because I think there might be something in the terms and conditions of Twitch that prohibits this. I think there's, it's a very American thing. Um, I think in Twitch's case, it's also not okay to have violence, but also the stuff with the naked skin and so on. That's typical American stuff. Um, it's just for us to accept. We cannot change it. As Europeans, this feels weird. We're like, yeah, sure, there's naked skin. Who cares? Naked skin is all over the internet. Whatever. Also, if you make rules around it, people will just, cover certain areas of their body, and afterwards there will still be naked skin all over the place. We had a look through these. Thank you very much. Nice meeting. But I wasn't aware of that story, no. So I do not have a perspective on this. And it's probably not a good idea to give it a platform either. Because, whatever we come up now is, I guess, knowledge from previous times and additional conspiracy theories on top. If I ever violate the conditions, the terms and conditions at some point, I would want to know why, obviously. But on the other hand, I wouldn't feel comfortable filming at TwitchCon, and especially not a restroom. Yeah, similar stuff. So I'm not one to go there, but I was on vacation in Fuerteventura at some point, and basically, I don't know, every third person there was naked. And it's not like, how do I put this? I do not want to see most of this. Seriously, like, it's not like this is something I'm attracted to see. But on the other hand, let people do whatever the fuck they want. And if this is something that they enjoy doing, why not? Yeah, doesn't affect me that much. So, it's better that they have their personal freedom than for me to dictate them whatever they wear. Yeah, I think that's the way to put it. And seen from that perspective, everybody's got to make their own decisions, and then apparently in the United States, the decision is to be very strict with that kind of stuff, at least in certain areas. In Europe, not so much. I didn't speak to all of those in Fuerteventura, so I don't know. There might have been a few drunk cases too. Also, to be fair, the age plays a role. I think the older people get, the less they give a fuck. I think so. At least it feels that way to me. But that might be just my perception of things. All right, we're in the fourth place in the league. No, they are in the fourth place in the league. Sure. How important is he? He's their central defender and has such a good performance. Wow. Well, he has really decent mentals. Oh, I'm so sorry about this. Well, I don't know. I never personally met Donald Trump on a beach, but I guess that might be. I'm not aware of the bottle of beer though. I think in his case it would probably be Budweiser, and that's not beer reportedly. That said, I never tried, but I might like it. I drink water. Otterkringer. There's a no. I cannot quote this here. It's not acceptable. I just thought of a song that I once heard about beer, but but some of this stuff gets difficult from a social perspective to quote on stream. So let's rather not do that. In fact, streaming has been a great learning exercise with that kind of stuff. Um, Despite me sometimes swearing on stream, in other areas, I feel like it's a learning exercise to avoid certain topics, or at least to go too deep into certain topics. So yeah, and also just because we're on stream here, and because we talked alcohol's bad. Like seriously, it is. Please don't drink too much. In fact, you might not want not to drink at all, because this is what's healthy. And this is water, not vodka. It's water. Because apparently, Twitch's terms and conditions include a clause that you cannot promote drugs or alcohol. I don't think we did, but just to be sure. That's not a surprise. They don't speak German down there. This is Munich. This is Bavaria. As somebody born in Stuttgart, this is you know they they don't know German. Now, the rest of Germany might argue that the Swabians do not know how to speak German either. So I guess that makes it three foreign languages for me, because I was born and raised on Swabian. Then I learned German, and then there were French and English. So I guess I'm a polyglot at this point. Schondagen, 22-year-old forward, that looks decent, yes. I think we can have a scouting report of him, if we can help it. There it was. I said it again. So, yeah. Interesting is a nice way to put it. most people in Germany have interesting dialects. Did you ever visit the northern areas, like really far up north, and I don't know, talk to a local fisherman or someone there? That's really interesting too. I do not understand a single word there, but I can have the same all over Germany really. You just gotta go, in some sort of village that is remote as fuck, and then you will find somebody that you do not understand at all. So, but in the cities, usually, you know, you always find people that speak decent, moderate German or Austrian or whatever. It's the same in Vienna, really, isn't it? Sure, the people have their dialect, but if you speak German, you stand a chance. Um, Now, if you travel down from Hamburg, you probably have a problem, but you will have the same problem in Zurich. On the other hand, you might stand a chance with English or, I guess in Zurich's case, also French. So, yeah. It's still quite impressive how far you can go with certain languages. Yeah, but not all over the place. So I'm sitting here in Nuremberg. Nuremberg is slightly different. It's another. I think they call these belts in linguistics. It's another belt of dialect. So this is why I think Augsburg um, is considered to be Swabian too, from dialects perspective. Same as Stuttgart, and they are not the same but similar to a degree. There's similarities. He's a decent poacher and a decent shadow striker, and well, do we new one? I don't think so. We will retrain ours. So, we wanted to play Rooney, right? Realize how I did not give any individual team talks? I'm a bad manager. We wanted to play Rooney. Rooney's on the pitch. He doesn't have a squad number. Okay. We wanted to bring along somebody that can do the replacement. We wanted to bring along this guy this time out. Adam Jones deserves a chance on the pitch, so he will probably come on later. Yates will be dropped, at least for now. And we will bring along Tumulty or, I guess, Cop. Why not? That's why we signed him, right? Mickey Lewis really needs more time on the pitch, apparently. He doesn't seem to learn it that fast. Well, we will keep him on the pitch, though. Opposition instructions, now again somewhere. Blackwell doesn't have a specifically really weak foot. His dribbling is bad, so we will tackle him hard. Oh, this is Prince Charles. He's also really slow. Yeah. Close him down, tackle him hard. Yeah, and that's it. We might want to play down this wing. Let's see. That said, with our kind of tactic, we want to employ the playmaker, right? So maybe we should still play through the middle. That's a right-footed player only, so let's show him to the left. Finlay Coleman as well has really bad dribbling. And his passing is no good, so trigger the press on him. Mustafa Mohammed. By the way, do not mark him tightly, and neither do mark him tightly. Because they are both, physically speaking, they are good enough. So tight marking will not serve a purpose. He has bad passing though. Dribbling is probably 4. That's enough for a hard tackle to for a hard tackle to me. We can do the same to him, sure. And, well, same here. He has a weak left foot, so let's do that. This guy, bad passing, bad dribbling, yeah, close him down. Do not mark him tightly. Just because I want them to be able to play through these. That's totally fine. Never marked him tightly, mark the rest of the squad tightly. That's good. Quinn Preston. Dribbling isn't that great, I think. Off the ball movement is bad, but his strength is okay-ish. His passing isn't that great. I think this is more of a case of triggering the press and tackling hard. Dribbling 5 is not that wonderful. The technique is not great. We stand a chance not to get a yellow card there. Brad Doran, his dribbling is better. So, no hard tackling here. Even though it feels like I would want to do this. His passing is bad though. So, trigger the press on him immediately. Right-footed. Oh, he tries to play way out of trouble too. Yeah. So we might stand a chance there. The dribbling though is I don't know, man. This is not my league. Never has been. So I would just toss a dice, really. Or in that case, probably flip a coin. So I'm not the one to ask. Sorry. His off the ball movement isn't that great. He's pacey though, so he might outrun his marker. Dribbling is not that bad. I don't want to ease off tackles. That's too much. Same here. Passing and crossing isn't horrible, but it's not great either. Let's trigger the press on him. Do not mark him tightly. I do not think that this is viable in his case. He might just outrun. And I will show him to the weaker foot, despite him having a stronger right foot. The left foot will show him to the inside, which results in a shot from distance for him most of the time, because his decision making is really poor and his long shots is free. So I want him to crack off these long shots, because I think he will just fail at hitting the target. Okay. Well, let him. This guy has decent off the ball movement, but no good jumping reach. No good strength. And he might outrun his marker, but I still feel like we need to mark him tightly if we can help it. His dribbling is far too good though, so we need to ease off tackles too. Because he might just drop. Whenever, wherever. He's really dangerous. And he gets forward whenever possible, so he will try to go for through balls. To a degree. He's got good anticipation, good off the ball movement. This is a dangerous guy. This is a dangerous attacking midfielder to me. That said, he's more of a playmaker type and not a striker. But he's really dangerous overall. The only thing that's good about him is the fact that his acceleration is 6. For us. And we cannot profit from his lack of bravery. He's casual, that's fantastic. Let's show him to the weaker foot. And ease off tackles. Otherwise, his passing is decent. But on the weaker foot, which is the right one, he will probably not crack off a penetrating ball. That's the hope anyway. So, given the off-the-ball movement and the overall skill, let's not mark him tightly. Doesn't matter, so he shouldn't be able to use his dribbling. And then there's Dylan Jenkins, a resolute striker with decent dribbling, who runs down the left for some reason. Decent dribbling, so no hard tackles. And otherwise, I don't know. His off-the-ball movement is too good, so tight marking, probably not a good idea. He's not a good header, so we don't necessarily need to mark him tightly. On the other hand, his strength is really bad. That said, we cannot do much about it. And to close him down. Sure, his passing's not that great, and we need to, at some point, press him. Alright. Let's do this. Oh yeah, we need squad numbers again. So, Cloyd will not be here anymore. Rooney can have the squad number of Brotherton. I don't think we need Brotherton. McDowell is, yeah, well, thank you. Well, we'll see how it goes for them. But this, as I said, this is not my level, and also, this is not a possession-based system anymore. Last time I saw Guardiola stuff, it was basically playing the ball all over the pitch all the time. Not that I'm annoyed by it, this is just the way how it is. That said, I prefer attacking football. From from a visual perspective, that is. From an efficiency perspective, if I would need to be manager, I probably would employ some sort of possession-based system. Just because it's needed. It has been quite successful. Yeah. But first of all, I want to see how this works here. This is more important to me right now than real football. It really is. If at some point streaming football matches for €5 a month comes back, then I'm interested. But as long as it's as expensive as it is, I do not feel that this is a viable investment of my money. Did the game start at 8, or is it still in pre-match? Toker with a penetrating ball and nobody to penetrate. Come on, guys, you can do better. Ah, okay. So it starts at half or at 45. Not bad, but well intercepted by Coleman. Preston, Griffiths. Nice ball, Jenkins. Not a problem for Clay. Cummings. That's picked up by Toker for some reason. Nice ball towards Gibson. Gibson, Toker, Rooney. What the hell? What a comeback. Is Joe still around? He left us. Man, he missed the best part. I hope he can see this later on in the VOD. In case you see it later on, Sharon Allard, you were right. Rooney's back, and this basically tells us that he will play next time out, too, in case he doesn't get hurt or something. Because he scored. And what a really bad goal it was, by the way. That's offside, is it? Yes. And I'm also quite impressed by Gibson's performance. He didn't stand a chance recently to get into the match squad, but it worked just fine this time out. Clay, McDowell. Towards Rooney. Griffiths. Ah, there we concede. That's a goal by Callum Bain, the attacking midfielder. Just what I expected. We have a really hard time marking him. Yeah, and in this kind of circumstance, this was lost out here by McDowell towards Griffiths. And now Felstead would stand a chance to intercept the ball. Jones has a problem that he needs to mark 1.5 people. Martin is not there to mark Bain. He loses Bain. He's just faster than Martin. And in fact, I'm not sure if Martin even was aware. There's just no way he can mark this guy. So, that means, well, 1 each. And Rooney's goal is all for nothing right now. Well, it's not for nothing. But we are expected to maybe get a draw. So far this looks like reality. There's a yellow card for Doran, as well as Mohammed. Who are Doran and Mohammed though? Midfield. McDowell's cross from deep towards Holt. Ah, that was a close one. Gibson. Toker. Ball from deep towards Holt. Ah. He should run for those. He tried, but for some reason he's really slow. Jones ball. Blackwell out of the penalty area. Cummings, Mohammed. We will stand a chance. Preston. Mohammed. And another ball from deep. He evades Jones. Bain. They should do better. McDowell, Rooney. Nice pass towards Jones. And Jones probably will not find a nice passing opportunity. Lynn Murray. Preston. Cummings. Mohammed. Coleman. Charles. So this is Feldstedt, this is McDowell, this is Rooney. Rooney didn't mark Griffiths in this situation. And again, McDowell comes out. And we give away the ball and concede a corner. Bain. Feldstedt, well done. At least for now. Charles, Bain, no offside. Far from it actually. Charles. Lynn Murray. Come on, Toker. Apparently he didn't manage to run with the ball. Toker. Toker. Ah, he's hurt. He took a knock, what is it? Do we know anything about it? He's injured, but he feels he can shake off the knock, so I guess he can play on. That said, we could switch Rooney to the other wing. Probably at halftime. Charles, Griffiths, this is offside, is it? Yes, it is. So Toker did his job. He will come off at halftime. That's not a case for Rooney. Neither does he really try to defend here. Yeah. So the left wing doesn't look that happy right now. Or maybe they look happy, but I don't like the way they play. And we can see this with McDowell. He's uninterested after the feedback for some reason. We encourage the team. Gibson is... That's a corner. Gibson also is frustrated by the feedback for some reason. I don't know why. Maybe they feel pressured? Well done. And there's another free kick by Bain. Griffiths, it's yet another corner. Last one probably. Bane. Well done. Davies, Preston, Mohammed. Long shot by Mohammed. I guess we can be happy with those. So overall, this is okay. It's not great. We didn't create many chances, so I don't like that. And also, we need to substitute Toker. Do we bring on Terry Cobb? Why not? So Cobb comes on, and we will substitute him for Rooney though, and Rooney can be out here, and I guess easing off tackles with 1 point of tackling is probably a good idea. Yeah, we will do this. Dressing room, we gave him a team talk. Is there individual talks to be done? Sure. Some of them didn't play that well. We will tell them. Is this a home game or an away game? I didn't even look. So we will tell those to get fired up. Yeah, it's an away game. So if we can stand to... we can probably stand to go with 1 point. First of all though, first touch for Cobb. This time out, it is. Jones. Doran. Jenkins. First name not Leroy, probably. Rooney's on the other wing. Will he be any better out here? That's weird. He scored. Doran. Sam Jones. And it's a free kick. Okay. You can do better, guys. Come on. You can do it. Martin is still annoyed by this. Or this time it's Martin. I'm not so sure why that is. I think we should do better though. If we can score, we basically have non-relegation solved. Lynn Murray. This will... yeah, this is the shortest pass of them all though. Lewis. Belstead. Holt's header, and Cobb runs towards the ball, but it's not much right now. Mohammed. Long ball towards Griffiths. Coleman. Bain. Griffiths. There's a cross. Doran, and it's over. I feel like one of our technical instructions is probably at fault here. And it's this one. Probably to not mark the wings tightly is not a good idea. And we can see this in the off-the-ball movement. We should be able to mark them tightly, even though they might play through them. But the problem is it gives them width. I don't like this. So I'd rather have them mark the fullbacks more tightly and force them to play through the central defenders. Even though none of them have really good passing, but the fullbacks have passing that is good enough to find their respective wingers if we do not mark them tightly. So let's reduce that a little bit. Maybe they can be a bit closer to them. Long ball by Mohammed towards Griffiths. Yeah, there's no way to defend this. Well, there's not a way to defend this on the wing. Because McDowell just isn't capable to do that. From a mental perspective as well as... well, his tackling is good. But his mentals, he was so far away from Griffiths. And Jenkins in the middle... he basically tapped it in. Sure, one of the central defenders can resolve this, but this is just stuff that happens with this team. Martin. Long ball by Martin. Cummings. So we will keep this tactic for, I'd say, another 5 to 10 minutes. But afterwards we need to change things. And then we will probably suffer consequences. Jones with a long ball, Coleman, Preston. Holt intercepts the ball and loses it immediately. Cummings has shown a yellow card. Alright, so there's 3 yellow cards in their squad now. And this looks like it's all down the right for us. So let's do this. We will go towards attacking. We will bring Adam Jones on for Gibson. It's not that I'm annoyed with Gibson, but we just need Adam Jones on the pitch. Rooney will still play his winger role. Still easing off tackles in his case. And do we need somebody else? I guess Freddie Wilds can make an appearance given McDowell's recent performances in this game. Then in addition to that, we play down the right. And we do something really weird. We overlap on the right with Flynn Murray. I realize that he is no good at it. No, this doesn't work. There's a winger there. Forget about it. Still, I want him to provide some width to this. What we can do though is we can try to overlap on the left. Yeah, why not? Let's overlap on the left, and just to give the pitch some width and some additional station out here. I'm not sure if this will work. We'll just try to create a bit. So maybe they can have an impact. That's really dangerous though. So this might also result in a really horrible result. Hits the crossbar and the post. We are very lucky not to be down 3 goals. Yeah, so on the other hand, Clay's performance I don't think is really good. We can try to demand more here. It's probably a bit much though. Nah, that went well. At least with some of the squad, that is. Preston towards Davies. Jones. So this is how it can look in case it is defended in central defense. But there's too many balls from the wings to the penalty area, and we do not have the fullbacks to defend this. And this is not about physicals or the pace or whatever. Not all, at least. This is also about marking and the mental fortitude to cope with this. On the other hand, we do not seem to stand a chance going down the middle towards Holt. And at this point he's exhausted and anxious, and yeah. Griffiths, Flynn Murray, Rooney, and Bain. We do not seem to stand a chance. This is whilst focusing down the right. But there's no creative process here. Nothing coming forward. And they seem to have a good attacking department and a good defensive department, and well, in a structured kind of mentality. Each of them contributes to what they are good at. And that works fine for them. There's not even great passing there. They just go with long balls and, you know. The players up front are able to pick this up. Davies. It's another corner. I'll try the encouragement once more, but... yeah, it didn't work with Rooney. Didn't work with Wilds. They are... not excited. by my management right now. Bane. Wilds towards Lewis. Cummings. It was interesting. Griffiths. We cannot avoid the cross. 2 against 1. That should be offside. As I said, it should. It isn't though. We have a few minutes to go. So at this point we can bring on Kerry Byrne. Lewis didn't do much this game. And I think Evans needs some time on the pitch too. Do we want to bring on Martin? Probably not. We will substitute according to the mood, really. So maybe one of the two can have an influence on the remainder of the match. I wouldn't expect much though. We didn't create a single chance to whilst going attacking. So it doesn't seem likely at this point. We fired them up, we encouraged them, right? Jones, Byrne, Martin. So what's Cobb? It's an offside, is it? It's an offside. Again. How's the instruction for the crossing? It's mixed. That's fine. Yeah, we do have a target man, but I don't want to load it in too much. Edwards. Finds Davies. Jones. Jones. Will Cobb pick the ball up? No, he doesn't. Byrne. Byrne with a penetrating ball towards Jones, Martin, Holt. Nice one. Oh, Cobb. That would have been an appearance if you made the equalizer. He doesn't though. Wonderful counter-attack, by the way. I love that. All but the finish. The rest of it was totally fine. Byrne. Jones with the header. And nothing by Cobb. Blackwell picks up the ball. It was the second chance of the game, by the way. Only. So overall, this performance has not been great. I will try to fire them up. There's just some people that do not like it very much. Edwards. And I probably should have taken this off earlier. Martin. Jones. Rooney. Well, Rooney, would you feel so kind to tackle him? Apparently you don't. Jones does, though. There's Griffiths. Oh. Nice save. Also, it was offside. 1 minute to go. Can we... Yeah, we can. 30 seconds to go with very attacking. That doesn't serve much purpose, does it? It's too late. Baseball. Not picked up by anyone. Jenkins. Byrne wins the ball. Wilds. Cobb. And he doesn't find Rooney on the wing. Wilds. Play. Evans. Wilds. And that's probably the game, is it? Yes. So we lose. I guess that's part of football. First half was okay. Second half, not so much. Also, doing the attacking really didn't serve much purpose, I think. So that didn't go well. And I will tell them. Next game will be against Amanford. Now, we've got a history against the leaders of the league, so I feel confident with this. That said, it's still 12 points until we are back in the relegation race. So, whilst there is a certain distance, we need to win some games at least. Well, 2, that is. Let's go through the press conference. Yeah, I really feel like we didn't defend that well though, and this is McDowell's problem. So that wasn't great. I've about a win, apparently. That's ever since we started the tactical tinkering though. So yeah, we know where this comes from. Maybe we should have stuck with the poacher for an additional 2 games. So, fine. I think that's it for now. You guys can watch Champions League if you feel inclined to do so, and I will spend some time with my girlfriend and probably have dinner, because, you know, people need some food. So, have a nice evening, and I don't know yet when we will schedule the next stream, so I will keep you posted on Discord as well as on Twitch. Thanks for watching, and see you next time. Also, have a great free day in case you live around the German area where, tomorrow's no work. Whatever. See you.